Officially called the Clinton Correctional Facility, this foreboding prison is commonly known as Dannemora, named after the town where it is built. Located in the northernmost part of New York State, 320 miles north of New York City, and a mere 35 miles south of the Canadian border. It's as isolated as it gets.
The surrounding area is filled with trees, rivers, cliffs, wild animals, uncharted areas that would make it very difficult for anyone who escapes the prison to be able to find their way to civilization.
Prison opens on June 3rd, 1845, as a source of free labor for the local mines.
Clinton had a reputation for breaking prisoners who were recalcitrant in other environments. It became a place that people feared.
However, the prison population grows, and in 1887, Dannemora installs its most distinctive feature, a 30-foot-high, 7-foot-thick wall that looms over the entire town.
The wall itself is right on the side of a mountain, so it's all rock. It's just rock and concrete.
The walls are so ginormous that it's like a fortress. There's a shadow that overcomes you. Never in my life would I think that anybody would be able to get out of there.
You feel the age of the mountainous landscape. You feel the age of the facility. There's a lot of dark history here.
Dannemora becomes the official destination for the worst offenders in New York State. February 14th, 1995, one of the biggest names in American music, hip-hop icon Tupac Shakur, rolls through the front gate of Dannemora in a prison van. He's been convicted of sexual assault and sentenced to 1.5 to 4 years in prison.
When Tupac arrives at Clinton, he's at the height of his fame.
I was there when Tupac Shakur came in to reception. The first couple days, he was kind of quiet, but once they figured out that Tupac was in there, then, oh, okay, he started to amass a little following. He would start making his music, like pounding on the bedpost or on a bucket, a pail, something to make a beat, and then he would start doing some of his singing. You have other segments of the inmate population that don't follow that music. They don't want to hear it. The officers certainly don't want to listen to it. And it's quiet time. So we go up there and they tell him, listen, knock it off. When the bell rings, you're done.
But Tupac doesn't stop.
Once again, he started going against the rules. He had a couple of confrontations with officers.
Tupac seems to be pushing back against the prison. He's responding to the environment, this very regimented, very dehumanizing environment, which is meant to take one's identity away from them.
As Tupac's world becomes more isolated on the inside, his fame on the outside explodes. And soon, his music and influence become so great that even Dannemora can't contain him. In March 1995, his album, Me Against the World, debuts at #1 on the Billboard chart. And in April, Vibe magazine publishes a jailhouse interview with the artist, in which he declares he's done with thug life, the negative parts of gang life.
When he goes to prison, he's forced into a situation where he has to think about the life he's been living. And he vows that when he leaves prison, he's gonna work more towards trying to solve the problems that thug life creates than in promoting thug life itself.
He's also writing letters from prison. In these prison letters, the street poet criticizes how Dannemora is run.
In a lot of the letters that he wrote to people outside of the prison, he seems to believe that the guards in the prison are targeting him because of his fame, but also they're targeting him because of his race.
We all try to treat every convict as a convict, no matter who they are. And in that part of New York State, we didn't have a lot of minority staff members. And so, bam, he ends up with a whole bunch of white guys telling him what to do.
But Tupac is a different kind of inmate. He's famous, and his visitors are famous. people with the money and means to make the long trek to the Adirondacks. And his celebrity status brings him even more good news. On October 12, 1995, after serving only 8 months of his sentence, Tupac Shakur is released from Dannemora prison on a $1.4 million appeal bond.
He was picked up outside of Dannemora in a white limousine with some of his other rappers.
The fans celebrate his release, but Tupac never gets the chance to show them the new lifestyle he envisions for himself and the community. Despite connections or talent, within a year of being released, Tupac Shakur is shot dead in Las Vegas, Nevada. And Dannemora vanishes from the headlines.